Leo, you're not just watching this video, you're standing at the edge of divine relocation. A wealthy and powerful man is about to move you. Why? Because of something you did, something pure, unseen, and unforgettable. You may not have realized it then, but your integrity planted a seed. A moment of kindness. A brave decision. A silent act of truth when it would have been easier to look away. That seed echoed through invisible realms. And now, the universe has whispered your name into the right ears. You've been found, not by chance, but by alignment. And now someone with means, resources, and connections you never imagined is about to shift your life from where you are to where your soul was always meant to thrive. This isn't luck. This is the law of return in action. This is the divine harvest of energy you once gave, now returning tenfold. If your heart is racing, Leo, it's because it knows, this isn't just a message. It's a call. A sacred pull. An invitation to walk through a door that's opening not outside you, but within. This video is not here to entertain you. It's here to remind you that your relocation is not punishment, not escape, but prophecy unfolding. And let me take a moment, before we go deeper, to sincerely thank you for being here. For every like, every comment, every subscription, you are not just supporting a channel. You're contributing to a movement of light, healing, and awakening. You're helping eternal mindfulness carry messages like this into the lives of others who need it. And that matters more than you know. If you're still with me, I ask you to do something sacred. Type in the comments, I have planted the seed, or the angel number that keeps finding you. Maybe it's 111, 777, or 1155. These aren't numbers. They are signals. Gate codes. Confirmation that your energy is recognized and answered. Leo, you may not know it yet, but the door has already started to open. And this message you're about to hear, it isn't meant for the masses. It's for you. Specifically you. You'll want to stay until the very end, because what the universe is about to reveal isn't just information. It's strategy. It's guidance. It's your next divine assignment. Are you ready to understand why that one good deed changed everything? Let's begin. Leo, when you made that quiet choice, perhaps to show kindness when no one was watching, to speak the truth when silence would have been easier, or to protect someone who had no voice, you didn't do it for praise. You didn't do it expecting a reward. And yet, what you may not have realized is that you were sowing a vibrational seed. That moment, small as it seemed, carried with it the force of creation. In the language of the universe, energy does not go unnoticed. It echoes. It travels. It expands. In numerology, the number 1 is the first ripple in still waters. It is the divine spark that initiates movement in a stagnant field. That single gesture you made was a number 1 moment, a beginning, a frequency shift. It didn't just change how you felt inside. It bent light. It sent resonance through your field and into the greater web of human energy that connects us all. And someone heard it. Someone far beyond your everyday circle. A man with influence, with resources, with reach, someone you never thought would cross your orbit, picked up on your vibration. Not through gossip. Not through exposure. But through resonance. Energy never stays still. Every action, especially those born from integrity, creates ripples in the unseen realms. Like sound waves moving through space, your intention expanded, touching those you'll never meet and opening doors you didn't even know existed. Think of it as a tree you forgot you planted. A seed dropped into sacred soil, unnoticed in the rush of life. But now the season has changed. The conditions have aligned. And the tree has broken through the surface, not just anywhere, but exactly where it was always meant to grow. That is the power of divine timing. That is the mystery of alignment. In energetic healing, we often speak of coherence, a state where heart, mind, and action are aligned, where you become magnetic to higher realities. What you did in that moment of unshakable truth wasn't random. It was coherent. It matched the frequency of higher opportunity. And as spiritual law teaches, what is aligned cannot be denied. Like attracts like. Goodwill attracts open doors. Light attracts presence. And this time, that light has attracted someone who has the keys to a new life for you. This is not a transaction. It is a sacred echo. In emotional healing, we teach that no act of courage goes unrewarded. Even if no one claps. Even if no one sees. Even if no one says thank you. That moment becomes a landmark in your energetic field. It marks you as someone who chooses truth over convenience, light over comfort. And the universe marks it too. The universe remembers. This is why today, as you listen to this message, you may feel a deep inner stirring. Not because something outside is pulling you, but because something inside you is finally being mirrored back. It's recognition. It's confirmation. It's the fruit of a choice you forgot you made. You were never planting just for yourself. You were planting into a field that others could feel. And now, the field has responded. The man, the move, the momentum, they are not random. They are harvest. So if you feel a chill in your spine, a warmth in your chest, a memory of something that once made you proud even in silence, that's your cue. That's your signal. Stay here. This isn't a story about reward. It's a lesson in spiritual physics. What you send out, returns. What you believe in, expands. What you build in the dark, blooms in the light. And now, Leo, your light is being seen. He is not just wealthy. He is perceptive. A man like this doesn't chase trends or surface beauty. He is tuned into the subtle frequencies most people ignore. What drew him to you wasn't your resume, your looks, or even your story, it was the energy you carry. That quiet resonance of someone who's walked through fire and chose light anyway. That unmistakable frequency of integrity, even when it was costly. In spiritual alignment, wealth is not measured by assets alone, but by one's ability to recognize purpose in others and act on it. From an astrological lens, Leo is ruled by the sun, the center of the solar system, the life giver. But even the brightest light needs the right atmosphere to shine without being dimmed or distorted. This man's role isn't to save you because you never needed saving. His role is to rearrange the physical circumstances so that your light can expand. Just as the sun doesn't beg to shine, you were never meant to plead for space. You were meant to be seen, received, and remembered. The law of attraction teaches that like attracts like, but often, what's alike isn't obvious. You radiated something he remembers within himself, maybe a younger version of him, maybe the fire he once lost, maybe the courage he sees too little of in the world. Whatever it is, your field triggered recognition. And in that moment of internal alignment, he became a vessel for your next transition. Not a rescuer, but a revealer. Not an investor in your future, but a witness to your calling. This is not charity. It's destiny at work. What fascinates me about energy medicine is how unseen influence moves faster than words. Long before the conversation happens, the energy has already spoken. Your name, your essence, your actions, they've traveled, like scent on the wind, like light bending through time. And just as certain people can smell rain before it falls, certain souls can feel greatness before it becomes obvious. He is one of those souls. And in his world, a world of contracts, capital, and control, the idea of backing someone with purpose is rare. That's what makes this moment sacred. He's not drawn by the usual metrics. He's drawn by something else, a force he may not even be able to name. But he knows. And so do you. We often talk about divine appointments as if they only happen through romantic or spiritual means. But sometimes, they arrive through people with the capacity to rearrange your environment, to physically relocate you, to create space where your soul can breathe. That is what this is. That is who he is. There's an ancient principle I've seen over and over again. When you walk in alignment with your truth, even if no one notices, even if it's hard, the universe writes it down. And when the time is right, it sends a person, an opportunity, a shift, not to reward you, but to reflect you. To affirm that your walk was not in vain. That your choices mattered. That you were seen. So if someone powerful is stepping in, it's not coincidence. It's confirmation. Let this be a reminder that you never needed to chase anything. You only needed to stay true. And now, someone who sees through energy rather than ego is coming to move you, not out of pity, but because your light activated something ancient within him. Something real. Something remembered. And now, the world is rearranging itself for you. Relocation, in the spiritual sense, is never just about moving from one place to another. It is an energetic realignment, a shift in vibrational landscape that occurs not simply because circumstances changed, but because you changed first. When your internal frequency no longer matches the environment around you, the universe begins to rearrange external factors to catch up with who you're becoming. The outer world bends to meet the evolution of your inner self. That's what this relocation is about. It's not random. It's a mirrored response to your readiness. As a Leo, ruled by the sun, you carry a natural radiance. But even the sun must rise in the right sky to illuminate its full brilliance. There comes a moment when the space you're in, the people, the places, the energies can no longer hold the size of the light you've grown into. You begin to feel restless, unseen, underutilized. That's not failure. That's expansion. Just like a lion cub cannot be contained once it grows into its mane, you, too, have outgrown your current terrain. You're not being pushed out. You're being called forward. Astrologically, the transits surrounding you right now suggest a portal of purposeful movement. The sun is illuminating paths of growth, especially in areas connected to identity, legacy, and the environment in which you function best. The universe is inviting you into a higher frequency setting, a place where your gifts can not only be expressed more freely, but also recognized and received. This is a new grid. A new assignment. A new chapter. And it's built for the version of you that refused to shrink. From an energetic healing perspective, your soul knows when it's time to relocate long before your mind does. You might notice increasing fatigue, a sense of emotional congestion, or even a deep disconnection from your surroundings. These are not weaknesses, they're signals. They're your spirit whispering, there is more. There is better. There is resonance waiting. And now, that resonance has begun to manifest as physical movement. You're not just being invited to change location, you're being granted permission to step into an environment that mirrors your becoming. Imagine a lion placed in a zoo enclosure, fed well, perhaps, but without space to roam, without the wind in its mane, without the echo of its roar carried across the land. Over time, even the strongest lion forgets its power. But the moment that gate opens and it steps out into open territory, the wild, the unknown, the expanse of its instincts return. That's what this moment is for you. Not to survive. To reclaim. To rewild. To thrive. This is why I encourage you to pause and take inventory. Write down 5 core values, truths about who you are that must come with you wherever you go. These are your compass points. They will keep you rooted no matter where the universe plants you next. Is it authenticity? Courage? Generosity? Creative freedom? Emotional safety? Your list will be unique to you. And that list will serve as your anchor as you navigate this relocation with presence and power. You are not being removed. You are being repositioned. Because the space you've created within yourself can no longer be held in a space that isn't worthy of it. You're not just relocating. You are retuning. And in this new frequency, new people, new blessings, and new callings will begin to appear. Not because they are new, but because now finally you're standing in the place where they can find you. Once life moves you into a new vibrational space, you're not just invited to relocate physically, you're being handed the brush to repaint the canvas of your entire existence. This is the moment when your soul whispers, you've outgrown the version of you that was built for survival. Now it's time to build a life designed for expression, purpose, and joy. In cosmic cycles, there are windows, moments where the veil thins and choice becomes creation. You're standing in one now. And what you choose to bring forward and what you leave behind will shape not only your environment but your essence. This is the sacred permission to start again. To redesign your habits, reset your rhythms, and reshape your sense of identity. Imagine stepping into a world where no one knows your past. Who would you become if there were no labels to hold you back? What would you create if you were no longer bound by expectations, disappointments, or roles you never chose? These are not just abstract questions, they are healing prompts. Write them down. Speak them aloud. Let them break open something in you that has been waiting far too long to breathe. When we talk about reinventing your life, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more deeply, radically, honestly yourself. It's shedding the layers that were never yours to carry. This period, this energetic window, is perfect for quiet rituals that restore your nervous system and renew your vision. Gentle yoga to bring breath into stuck places. Journaling at sunrise to listen to the voice within before the noise of the world arrives. Magnesium or vitamin B6 to calm your body's response to emotional rewiring. greens and grounding foods to re-anchor your energy in this new timeline. These small actions are not just healthy routines, they are spiritual choices that align your physical vessel with your elevated path. In the tarot, the Fool walks forward not because he is reckless, but because he trusts the road will rise to meet him. And the star shines not because she has proof, but because her faith becomes her light. These cards mirror your current moment. You are walking into unknown territory, yes. But you are being guided by an inner certainty stronger than any map. And as you move forward, even the smallest steps count. They create a path not just for you but for the ones who will come after you, inspired by your courage to begin again. This is your time to decide, what is worth rebuilding? Who are you becoming, now that the old world no longer defines you? Say it aloud. Claim it. Declare it into the field. And if you feel called, I invite you to share it in the comments. Who do you want to become in this new space? What vision are you anchoring? Because every word you write, every truth you speak, is the beginning of new architecture. A future taking form. Creation only asks one thing from you, readiness. Not perfection. Not clarity. Just the willingness to say yes. And you've already said yes by listening, by staying, by remembering who you really are. So breathe. Center yourself. And begin again. This time, not from fear, but from freedom. When you arrive in a new energetic environment, you're not just entering a different place, you're stepping into a living map of destined encounters, soul agreements, and coded invitations waiting to be unlocked. Every community holds a frequency, a rhythm that either echoes your growth or diminishes it. And this new space you're being led into has been tuned to the frequency you've evolved into. It's not just about better conditions or more opportunity. It's about resonance. You're being positioned among people whose energy speaks the same language as your soul, individuals who don't just understand where you're going, but who are meant to walk with you toward it. In astrology, Leo is the sign of radiance, creative leadership, and authentic visibility. But a light, no matter how strong, needs reflection. It needs a field to dance upon. The people you're about to meet in this next chapter, mentors, allies, companions, are not random. They are pieces of a divine mosaic, each carrying a key, a lesson, or a mirror. Some will challenge you in all the right ways. Some will nourish your gifts without asking you to dim. And others may appear briefly, simply to redirect your course when you forget your worth. Think of them as sacred codes and motion frequencies that activate something dormant within you, like a password you didn't know you were carrying until the right moment. Now is the time to be intentional with the communities you align with. Join spaces where ideas move freely, where innovation is born through connection, not competition. Try stepping into small roles of leadership, not to impress, but to express. Your voice matters here. Your insights are not only welcome at theory needed. This is also the space where mentorship becomes medicine. Don't hesitate to seek guidance from someone who's walked a similar path. And equally, remain open to guiding others. You'll be surprised how healing it can be to witness someone else rise because you stood beside them. Emotionally, you may find that your heart is ready to love differently, more softly, more clearly, with less fear and more presence. If someone enters your life in this new frequency, don't rush to define them. Let their energy speak. Love that arrives during a frequency shift often isn't here to fix you, it's here to reflect you. It won't always look like a fairy tale. Sometimes, it will feel like being seen for the first time without armor. Let that be enough. And as you integrate into this new field, allow symbols to guide your embodiment. The color golden yellow holds particular power for you now. It's the color of solar royalty, of reclaimed confidence, of unapologetic joy. Wearing it, whether as clothing, an accessory, or even as a digital background, can help attune your aura to the energy of bold receptivity. It reminds you that you don't need to chase the sun, Leo. You are the sun. Take a deep breath as you move forward. With every step, remember that you're not just creating a new chapter, you're becoming a vibrational match to a new community, one that was waiting for your arrival long before you knew you were coming. This is where expansion happens, not through striving, but through alignment. You don't have to force your place here. You simply have to show up as you are, radiant, ready, and real. And when you do, you'll feel it, the sense that you're finally home, not just in location, but in frequency. You were never just being moved from one place to another. You were being summoned. Everything that seemed like a detour, every delay, every unexplainable turn was the universe's way of placing you at the exact intersection of timing and destiny. And now, here you are. Standing before a door only your soul was coded to recognize. This is not a story about leaving something behind. This is about answering a divine invitation that not everyone gets. You see, people may look at your life and think you're starting over. But in truth, you're starting ahead. You're not running from the past, you're rising into a future that has been whispering your name long before you realized it. And perhaps now you're beginning to feel it too, that subtle shift within you. That quiet clarity. That inner knowing that you no longer need permission to shine. If there's anything this journey has taught you, it's that freedom doesn't come from waiting for things to align. It comes from deciding that you are the one who aligns them. The wealth, the relationship, the healing, the impact. They all begin when you begin to believe you were never meant to stay hidden. So let me ask you something. What would change in your life if you fully trusted that you're not being tested anymore but trusted? What if today is the moment you stop proving and start receiving? What if the call you've been waiting for is the one you were meant to answer with your entire being? I want you to take a deep breath and visualize where your life is heading. Who are you becoming now that you've been set free from what once restrained you? Can you feel the wealth that's not just financial but soulful, relational, emotional, and divine? This is your reminder, you don't need to chase anything. What's yours by divine contract will recognize you even in silence. Just like the man in this message who doesn't come to rescue you, but to reflect your light. He's not your reward. You are. And where you're going? That place is not a destination. It's an awakening. Now, let's anchor this together. If something in today's message resonated deeply, comment the phrase, "I am ready to walk through the door of my destiny," below. Let that be your declaration. Let the community witness your shift. And if you felt the energy of this reading, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone else who needs to remember who they are. Thank you for being here with me today on Eternal Mindfulness. You're not alone, you're realigned. And the next step is already waiting for your yes. You are not being taken somewhere. You are being called home.